Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. America's Weakness, Part 2. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Last night I documented vital areas where the USA is either losing influence or is completely collapsing. The memo is posted on BillO'Reilly.com. Tonight, more on why America's weakness is growing. It begins with propaganda, how to obscure the truth. When Talking Points first began listing all the situations where the USA is getting hammered, the evidence overwhelmed those who support the Obama administration and believe that I am full of it. So a new strategy emerged. According to those happy with the State of the Union, America's not getting weaker, it is simply changing, realigning. And I am too dense to understand that.
But the idea that somehow America is in decline, it is in realignment. The internet is here. Bill O'Reilly's got to understand that. This is a real world we're living in here.
So I think part of what you're discontented with, Bill, is changes in the reality.
Well, to quote John Lovis, yeah, that's it. Realignment, changes, that's the ticket. Now, you got to hand it to the left. They're creative spinners, and they all get the same memo. To them, the country is not really in trouble, abroad or economically. It's just a changing world, and O'Reilly is too dim to understand. Really amazing, but that's what they're selling. One of the main reasons the USA is in steep decline is resentment towards fellow citizens. Many of us will no longer work together, preferring to demonize people with whom we disagree.
The system has been rigged against us from the very beginning. We've never been able to stand our ground because the system has protected white peoplehood, white property, and white privilege.
White peoplehood. I love that. When skin color overrides honest debate, everything falls apart. And that's what's being sold. How many times have we heard criticisms of President Obama are race-based? How about every day?
This is a part of the war on whites that's being launched by the Democratic Party. And the way in which they're launching this war is by claiming that whites hate everybody else. It's a part of the strategy that Barack Obama implemented in 2008, continued in 2012, where he divides us all on race, on sex, greed, envy, class warfare, all those kinds of things. Well, that's not true, okay?
While Congressman Brooks believes the president is behind the policy, I believe it's the Democratic leadership in Congress that has designed the divisive strategy, Reid and Pelosi. But no doubt, President Obama is allowing the nonsense to flow. Now, if you can't defend your record, if the facts stack up against you, deflect. Charge into emotional areas to pettifog reality. Simply put, we need to get back on track in this country, halt the nonsense, and demand that our elected leadership solve problems that threaten our well-being. The day of the ideologues is ending. TV and radio ratings prove that. Americans are slowly wising up. And that's the first step in recovering the strength of America. And that's a memo. Now for the top story night reaction, with us in New York, Monica Crowley, and in Washington, Kirsten Powers. How about that white peoplehood deal, Kirsten? I love that, that white peoplehood.
Yeah, well, look, I think that there is a problem with divisiveness in the country right now, and I do agree that it's not good to be pointing fingers at certain groups of people. It certainly would be wrong, of course. I think we would all agree to blame everything, to talk about, you know, black people in the way that white people are being talked about. So I don't think the solution is to demonize white people. It's not to say there isn't racism, and that should be addressed, but I don't think there should be demonizing of
But there's plenty of that going on now, and we can't recover our strength, we the people, because again, we're behind all this. We elected President Obama. We put the Democrats in charge of the Senate. So it's we the people that have to wise up. I mean, you can criticize the politicians all day long, but it comes back to us. And we're never going to be a strong nation again if we're so divided, and that's what I'm trying to get across. I am trying to tell everyone that, yeah, the politicians are not serving us well. They're not. And the ratings for Congress and President Obama are where they should be. We're losing strength all over the world. You agree with that, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
And the divisions accelerate that.
And well, it makes it impossible to recover. See, the divisions make it impossible to recover. So President Obama's gone in 2 years. I mean, we're not going to see him again in any kind of a power position. But whoever comes in can't build on nothing.
Yeah, and you need leadership in order to try to unite Americans. Once again, we saw it with President Reagan, who came in and brought all kinds of people, not just on the Republican side together, but blue dog Democrats, conservative, moderate Democrats. People were united. That's where leadership comes in. You have a problem here because I disagree with you on this. I think the president has actively engaged in dividing us. Didn't originate with him, but the war on women, which he has presided over. He has divided us by
presiding
race,
over
class,
and designing.
gender,
Wait. Presiding over and designing are two different things.
He gives speeches almost every week, Bill, on
I have
war
never
on
heard
women,
him.
Class warfare, wealth redistribution.
Those are
dividing
his
us
policies.
by age. Obamacare is a massive wealth redistribution scheme. This is taking from the young to give to the old. He has divided us through his policies and rhetoric every day.
Every voter who paid attention knew that they were electing a very liberal man who was going to do that. I've never heard Barack Obama use the race card. However, people like you say he's designed that. I think it's more Reid and Pelosi
but Bill,
designed.
he doesn't have to go and give speeches on this. He's doing it through his policies because, look, the left cannot win on their policies. We know this. So the only way they can win is by dividing us, keeping us fighting amongst ourselves and distracted from what they are doing to the country.
But you, Monica Crowley, cannot prove it comes from the president.
Bill,
that's my point.
every day of this administration
and I know
is
I'm going to get letters from the right. Oh, you're apologizing for Obama again. Fact-based broadcast. That's what this is. Okay, now, Kirsten, just today, a two-star general killed in Afghanistan, all right? Two-star general, highest-ranking military figure that has been killed in war, I think, since World War II. President Obama didn't mention it. He's out with the African economy thing, didn't mention it, nothing. He doesn't show any leadership from a day-to-day basis on events. He just doesn't seem to care about being the commander-in-chief and the leader of the nation. That's what I'm getting. And again, I'm not in business to hammer the man. Go.
Yeah, I think there are Democrats who feel that way, that he's not engaged enough. He's been criticized by Democrats for that, and he seems to do this with every big issue. He waits day after day after day, and he doesn't act right when it happens and say something. He waits until everybody's saying, why isn't the president saying anything?
Why does he do that, in your opinion?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I have no explanation for it.
I know Monica knows.
You
sure you don't know? Because Monica's going to take the floor.
Well,
you don't know?
I'm sure there's a whole conspiracy theory behind it, but I don't know if it's just disinterest or if it's something
you don't know.
more.
You know.
Well, look, I can take a stab at this after 6 years of watching this president in action. This is a man who's not just presiding over the collapse of American power and prestige. He is actively accelerating it, Bill. This is a man
why doesn't he act? Why doesn't he come out and say, our condolences to this two-star general, this is a terrible thing that's happening? Just ignores it. Why?
And politically, that would be the smart thing to do. And so the only explanation for why repeatedly he doesn't do it is because this is a man who comes out of this far-left philosophy that because the United States has committed all these crimes over the course of our history, from genocide to theft, that we shouldn't be playing a role in the world. Never mind the leading one, and that's why he is very uncomfortable with the commander-in-chief role.
I don't think I'll ever get a chance to interview Barack Obama again, but if I do, I'm going to ask him about this. Why do you let the ISIS army do what they do and you don't confront them? Why do you ignore the death of a two-star general? I really want to know. Ladies, thanks very much. Next on The Rundown, U.S. Marine